Hi there. Creating this video is a quick guide to use Halo's proposal review system. So upon getting your invite and creating an account, you'll get into the system and you'll land on our dashboard. And the first tab you'll see here is the partnering requests. So you'll see all active requests, you'll see drafts that have been created and anything that's been archived, meaning the project is completely done. So just looking at these active projects, you'll see the request title, the type of request, whether that's request for solutions, requests for startups, requests for experts, etc. You'll see the dates in which it's live, so when it started to be posted and when it's completed, how many proposals are awaiting screening or assessment. You'll see the visibility in regards to who can access this link, whether it's public or private, how many proposals have been submitted to date, the review team that you have on this project, and then the status, whether that's in auto decline phase, whether that's in assess phase or accepting proposals, and then a three-dot nav on the far hand side that gives you extra options like evaluating the proposals, viewing this request live, which will come in handy for the Q&A function, copying the link to send elsewhere, editing the request, or downloading it to Word. So one thing to work on at first is just adding the review teams. So once this is posted, you can add review teams by clicking on these icons. So you'll see the review team you already have, and you'll see the admin is added to this automatically. You can assign a lead, and a lead means that that person can advance and decline proposals as well as submit evaluations and see the team chat. Whereas the commenter is only going to be able to evaluate, view comments, add comments, and team chats, but won't be able to advance or decline proposals. So to add reviewers to this, you can just click this button, enter their email, and predetermine that level of access, whether you want them to be a lead or commenter, type out an accompanying message, and then you can send those invites out. So they don't already need to be in the organization under your My Team. This is an additional way that you can get them to create an account. So once they finish that, they will auto-populate in your review team for you, and then they'll be able to see the request. So to start evaluating proposals, the simplest way is to just click on the title of the request. So this takes us into our proposal review system where we'll see the screen, assess, finalist, and decline tabs. So this is going to give us a right to left scrolling view. So we can see things like the proposal title. We can see the innovator that submitted this. You can actually click their name to go to their profile, or you can send them a message directly. So this allows us to ask some clarifying questions. If we want to reach out for anything in particular, you can do it right in the system. And then you can see your screening stage ratings. So this is going to be on the back of submitting the evaluation. And again, anyone in your review team can do this. So this evaluation is a basic scoring system on whether we think we should advance or decline this particular proposal. And we'll add some comments as to why we gave that recommendation. So as your team starts to complete these, we can start to see the scores and comments that were associated that give us a good indication as to what we should do moving forward. So if we have a unanimous decision on advance, that looks like we're good to go. But if we're kind of split like this, maybe we want to have a conversation as a team, and we can look at these comments for more context as to how we got to that scoring. So with those comments, we also have the screening stage comments. This summarizes all the comments associated and gives us a nice summary of what's been said so we can get a high level view. And then as we scroll to the right, we'll see that proposal broken out into different sections. So the description, the rationale, the research plan, data, technology readiness level, publications, and more. So if you don't prefer the side scroll view, or if you don't prefer to scroll within these, there are a few different options. One is you can change the size of the row to full so that you don't have to do that. An additional way is just to click the title of the proposal. So this will kick it out to a new tab, and now you can view this proposal in full in a one-page view, but just be mindful that whenever you're ready to submit the evaluation, you'll need to go back to the Halo dashboard and submit the evaluation from here. So to be clear, the innovator cannot see any of this. They cannot see their screening stage ratings. They can't see any comments you add. They can't see anything other than a message if you send them that. So once we are ready to advance or decline, we'll just click this button. And again, this is reserved for admins or leads. So advance would send them an accompanying message just saying, hey, we're taking a look at your proposal. Here's what you can expect next. And it would advance them into the assess period. If we choose to decline, we're going to need to select a reason why, whether that's too early to invest, out of TRL scope, not relevant to the opportunity, which will send an accompanying message that lets them know why we haven't selected their proposal for further review. I will say, if you don't see any options here that really fit what you're trying to describe, we can upload a custom template for you so you don't have to recreate this every time manually. So just let us know what you're thinking and we can add that to the list for you. So adding them to decline, we'll put them in that decline bucket so you can go back and look retroactively as to who you declined in this. And advance will kick them to the assess stage. So from here, it looks very similar to screen. The only difference is you still have the screening stage ratings and comments, but now you have an assessment stage rating. So this is a little bit different. It quantifies what we're seeing here, and we can start to score and rank these proposals based on different criteria. So we see things like innovation and novelty, technical feasibility, economic viability, and more, with all scoring that gives us a weighted average on each of these respective proposals. So when we submit that evaluation, now it looks a little different. We can submit the score from poor to excellent on each of these and add comments as to why. Again, that all tallies up into these scores that we see here. So we can now start to filter and sort and rank those to then make our final decisions as to who's going to be a finalist. So again, we'd advance, send them a message, and then once you get to your finalists and you want to have conversations off platform and sign NDAs, just a reminder that all communication within the Halo platform is non-confidential. So we would just want to make sure that if you're sending anything confidential, make sure you're doing it off platform. So that's how we manage that proposal review system. Other extra things to know are that all these proposals that are coming through are being added to your network and your proposal library. So the proposal library is just all proposals you've received over time, whereas the network is all innovators that have, one, followed your organization, or two, have submitted a proposal to one of your requests. So if you know that Anna submitted a really great request for really great proposal for a last request, but it wasn't a fit, you can keep her in mind for future ones, or send a private message to keep that relationship warm and reach out for another one in the near future. So that's a quick crash course on the proposal review system. Added some extra color on proposal library and private network. But as soon as you get your request posted, just know that you can lean on your team to help you evaluate these, submit their scores to make your life easier and know where to go next. So let me know if you have any questions, and we'll be in touch soon. Thanks.